In the latest installment of Out the East, we will be talking about the 1987-1988 Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's get it. What's up, hoop heads? It's your boy Skinny Hardaway, and this is Retro Heat Check. Checking in one more time for the real hoop heads out there. And as always, thank you all for your likes, your shares, your subscriptions, your comments, and especially your questions. Thank you all once again. Last night was another great episode of Q&A with Skinny. Man, we had a great time. The questions was fire, Jessica. Shout out to you for those fire questions once again. It's been coming. It came across in my notifications that some of you have not been receiving your notifications. I don't know what I've done to YouTube. I don't know what I've done. All I've been doing is just speaking facts. I don't know. But for some strange reason, it just seems like YouTube has just been really messing with my channel. I don't even understand. We're going to keep grinding. We ain't going to cry about it. We just going to grind about it. So, just make sure that you guys just check your notifications. Usually I drop a video in the evenings. So usually Monday through Friday, well, Tuesday through Friday. My Mondays have been kind of busy lately. But tentatively Tuesday through Friday, be on the lookout. Check your notifications. I usually drop in the evenings. So just check, you know what I'm saying? Just check. And if you have to, check the next day. You know what I'm saying? There should be a video. If not, you will have a notification in the community that lets you know that, hey, no video tonight for whatever various reasons or whatever. But yeah, don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't be distracted. I mean, don't be distracted. Don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. Just like I said, just check your notifications. Yeah, and thank you all for your support as well. Thank you all. The channel doesn't go without you guys, and I definitely want you guys to be able to enjoy the videos when they drop. So hopefully we will get down to the bottom of that. So into the meantime, in between time, check the notifications. All right. Speaking of notifications and stuff, man, and announcements and all that stuff, you already know the contest. fanboys, 1,000-word essay. If it's convincing enough that LeBron is the GOAT, I said I got a pair of LeBron 13s, damn near dead stock, size 10 for you or whoever you would like to pass those off to. Like I said, man, it's just very simple. Go on to the video that explains the rules. If you're not hip, that's the video with the thumbnail of the pup, young Coda, the young soldier, my pup. You'll see it on there, man. You'll see it on there. You already know what it is. 1,000 words. Got to be convincing. Sneakers are yours. Has to be done. All essays have to be turned in basically in that video, basically in the comment section of that video. And that video only. If you put it on another video, disqualified. If it ain't 1,000 words, disqualified. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dead serious. Damn near brand new pair of sneakers. Check the video. You will see the shoes that I'm working with. But check them out, man. Check them out. I'm dead serious, fanboys. This is your opportunity to shine. So shine on. Speaking of shining on, man, definitely gotta give some light to my bros, man. This is the squad, man. This is my guys. These are the guys that I support. They support me. You already know what we're up against, man. Some of us, man, we happen to be on the more educational side. Others more on the entertaining side. Majority of us are somewhere in the middle. But these are my guys, man. We stand 10 toes in the paint, shoulder to shoulder, chest out, chin up, ready to face all the propaganda, the hate, the lies, the narratives, from the tippy top of the NBA all the way down to your local fanboy, man. We're always smacking them down, armed with the truth, remaining undefeated because we are armed with the facts. And that is where it's at, period. So big shout outs go out to my main man, the inspiration of this channel, Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncommon Sense, Scap Attack, Too Raw for Sports TV, Uncut Hoops, Angry Old Hoops, Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best, NNB Sports TV, my twin, Phenomenal Fitness, man. What up? Hopefully we can get that collab going soon. I'm tired of teasing it. I'm tired of talking about it, man. We got to get it cracking, man. Let's go. Got Phenomenal Fitness. Got to give a big shout outs to Ticket TV, Geechee Life Sports Talk, Print Sports, Man Down Sports. You feel me? Also, Shucklestorm NBA. Got to give a big shout out to The Real Mind Crime, Jordan versus LeBron, Kobe Bryant Film Room. Big shout outs to you guys. The Allen Ricks TV. Big shout out. NBA Facts Self Research. That's my guy, man. That is my guy. And also Hoop God, man. One of the newer guys that I've been that I came across, man. Definitely a big fan, man. Definitely a big fan of his. These are my guys, man. These are my brothers, man, and we support one another, man, in this space. Definitely gotta you know what I'm saying, gotta give people their flowers while they're here, man. And definitely gotta give these guys their flowers because we are really trying to just spread the truth, man. Spread the truth, man, to the real hoop heads out there, man. You have a love for basketball. We have a love for basketball. You have a love for the old school. We have a love for the old school. That's why you're here. And I hope that you guys continue to support all of these channels, not just myself, but all these channels. And if you're not hip to any of these guys, I implore you to check them out, man. You won't be disappointed, man. Tell them Skinny sent you. You already know what it is. We don't have any new hoop heads to be added into the fold, into the hoop head haven, so the doors will remain closed. This will be a closed door meeting. You already know what it is, man. And we are going to continue through the series Out the East. You already know, man. This is basically a rundown of all the teams that Michael Jordan had to face in his journey on the way to being a champion and basically the greatest player of all time. And today's team that we're going to be highlighting is the 1987-1988 Cleveland Cavaliers. Excuse me. This team right here They finished with a 42-40 record. They were 31-10 in the 31-10 at home. There was 11-30 on the road and 11-19 within the division. They finished fifth in the Central. They lost in the first round to MJ in the Chicago Bulls, 3-2 in the best of 5 series. As you all know, back in those days, all the way up until, I want to say, when did they start going? I had to say it was like the mid to late 90s where they start doing the best of 7 in the first round as well. Not just the best of 5 in the first round. So that all rounds would be the first would be 7 games. So this is still in the era where you had 5-game best of 5 games in the first round. Key players, the big train, Brad Daugherty, man, all-star, straight out of North Carolina. This was his second year in the league. I mean, he was a young, you know what I'm saying, he was a center. A lot of people forget about Brad Daugherty, man, but he was one of the best centers of the 90s. Even though his career wasn't as long as others, because he retired early. You know, he had back and knee issues later on throughout his career, kind of shortened up his career. But you may know him as a very, very, very successful NASCAR owner. He has his own team, cars, and he has his own cars, his own team, and he's very, very, very respected in NASCAR circles, man. Brad Daugherty, throughout the 87-88 playoffs, averaged 16 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, and 1 blocks per game. Definitely one of the, at that time, definitely one of the best young big men in the game. And at that time, he was just scratching the surface. Mark Price, another young gunner, the point guard, the engine, basically the engine to the car. Man, this was one of the best sharpshooting point guards in NBA history. This dude, you just look at the plethora of 3-point records that he may not have broken them, but if you look at the all-time leading, 3-point percentages and makes and attempts and all that stuff, Mark Price is somewhere on that list, and it ain't low. This is a guy who, straight out of Georgia Tech, was just a straight gunner. Once he found his footing in the league, after going from Dallas and other spots like that, he was able to finally find roots in Cleveland. Without his young career, because he was young and he had game, but it just seemed like he just could not find a home until Cleveland. And man, the rest was history, man. Mark Price ended up becoming one of the best players, one of the best point guards, another unsung and forgotten great from the 80s and the 90s, man. Mark Price averaging 21 points, 7 assists, 3 boards, and a steal per game, man. Definitely was putting in work. And Ron Harper, Dayton, Ohio's own, the hometown, my guy, Ron Harper, straight out of Dayton, Ohio, Miami of Ohio University, representing. Definitely Ron Harper, man. I would have to say, man, at that time, also a second-year player at the time, who was battling injuries, missed 57 games that year due to an injury, due to a freak knee injury, you know what I'm saying? But he was able to come back just in time for the playoffs, man. Ron Harper, at the time, man, a lot of people considered him almost like a poor man's Jordan, because he had the athleticism, he had the tenacity, he had the defense, he had it all. He had it all. Ended up becoming one of Michael Jordan's best teammates later on in his career through the second Bulls three-peat. So this is Ron Harper in the early years. He and Mike were definitely rivals, but Mike was the more elite player. But Ron Harper was not too far behind. Ron Harper was definitely hooping in the 87-88 playoffs, averaging 17 points a game, 5 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block per game. This guy was on fire. Key role players: Larry Nance, brought over from a trade, mid-season trade that sent a young Kevin Johnson to the Phoenix Suns for Larry Nance, the grizzled vet, who still had plenty of tread on them tires. Larry Nance definitely was a key contributor to the Cleveland Cavaliers team, averaging 16 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, and two blocks per game. Man, definitely a monster. Hot Rod Williams, another athletic big man that Cleveland had, 9 points, 5 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block per game. Hot Rod Williams, man, definitely one of the more athletic stretch big men in the game. I mean, he had the outside shot, inside shot, athleticism. Between him and Larry Nance, I mean, those two created a formidable duo down low because they were both tall, both could shoot, both could jump out the gym, dunking, running. I mean, there was nothing that those two could not do on the floor. They were definitely a much needed veteran presence on a young team, on a relatively young Cleveland Cavaliers team. Mike Sanders, one of the more forgotten NBA players in the 80s. This guy was, I mean, he was definitely instant offense. I would have to say he was a poor man's Vinny Microwave Johnson. I mean, Mike Saunders, man, you get him in the game, man, and I mean, he's looking for that shot. He's looking to score. He's looking to score. I mean, he just a scorer, a dog. I mean, I definitely have to say, man, low key, he was a dog. But like I said, this man was one of the unsung and hidden gems of the 80s, man. Mike Saunders chipped in with 12 points per game, 5 boards and assists. You can't sneeze at that, man. The man was doing his thing. And of course, Craig Elo. If there is not a player who hasn't had a more unlucky running into Michael Jordan as an individual player than Craig Elo. There's been so many instances of Craig Elo getting absolutely embarrassed, giving up game-winning shots, trick shots, getting 50 dropped on him, no problem. But Craig Elo, one thing about Craig Elo is his tenacity. He never quit. His attitude was always the next play. You always have to admire him for that, despite the fact that Jordan was definitely cooking him on the regular. But Craig Elo definitely was one of the more savvier vets. I mean, a complete professional. This guy is a fundamentally sound player. Definitely the guy that you don't want to leave wide open for a jump shot, a three-pointer. Definitely don't want him to make that key pass. He's that guy that the second that you forget about him, that's when he gets you. Craig Elo, man, dropping 8 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, and a steal per game. Definitely this team, from top to bottom, was a pretty good squad. And it even had some notable young players such as Del Curry, Mark West, Tyrone Corbin, and Chris Dudley. So they had a pretty stacked team, although they were young. They were just a young team scratching the surface. But definitely they were more talented than MJ's Bulls. Definitely. The Cleveland Cavaliers, basically, they were a young, talented, yet underachieving team that would quickly become a victim to Michael Jordan's heroics for years to come. In a close and competitive first-round matchup, MJ and the Bulls were just a bit too much for the Cavs, as he became the first player in NBA history to drop 50 points in back-to-back playoff games, with 50 in Game 1, 55 in Game 2, averaging 45 points per game. And as averaged 45 points per game as he led the Chicago Bulls to his first playoff series win. See, a lot of people always thought that the shot was it was the shot that that propelled Michael Jordan into the second round. But no, that's not true. Actually, Michael Jordan did beat the Cleveland Cavaliers the year prior, 87-88, in the first round. So that was actually Michael Jordan's first playoff series win, and that was over these 87-88 Cleveland Cavaliers. So I just want to just clear that up. A lot of people get that mixed up and confused. So this was definitely Michael Jordan's greatest individual season, as he captured MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, scoring champ, steals leader, first team All NBA, first team All NBA defense, All-Star Game MVP, slam dunk champ as well, as well as the AP men's as the AP's male athlete of the year as well. As I mean, this was Michael Jordan. This was basically Michael Jordan just going stupid on the league. I mean, this guy was a ball of energy. He definitely raised eyebrows, but he still drew criticisms. Despite all that, yeah, Michael Jordan was getting criticized during this time. Although he did get props for leading the Bulls to the second round when they got destroyed by the Detroit Pistons in another competitive series. But the critics were definitely on Michael's back, talking about basically a scoring champ, MVP, a selfish player. He'll never lead the Bulls to a title. A scoring champ has never been considered a leader for an NBA championship squad. Yada 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 yada, all of that. But this was still Mike, who was still growing in the league, man. This was Mike growing in the league. In Cleveland, I have to say, if there was a franchise that was just as unlucky as Craig Elo, it would have to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Michael Jordan, as you guys will see in episodes to come, Michael Jordan kind of owned the Cavs. As Larry Bird and the Celtics tormented a young MJ, and for years the Pistons also did more than that to Michael Jordan. But if there was one team that Mike had ownership of, it was definitely the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I forgot to add, they were coached by the legendary Hall of Famer, Lenny Wilkens, one of my personal favorite coaches of all time. If I were an NBA player, I would love for Lenny Wilkens to be my coach. I mean, everybody says the obvious, like Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Don Nelson, Rudy Tomjanovich, you have Popovich, those guys like that. But me personally, I would have to say, man, Lenny Wilkens is probably one of the few coaches that I would love to play with. He kind of reminds me of Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy and Lenny Wilkens had that same style. Very quiet, very, very distinguished type of gentleman. I mean, he carried himself with a grace and professionalism. But, man, in them trenches, as a player, as a Hall of Fame player, and as a Hall of Fame coach, Lenny Wilkens was a dog. He didn't bark loud, but he bit down. And when he would bite down, man, he locked in. And that was the same tenacity that he brought in to the coaching ranks. But yeah, definitely Lenny Wilkens, man, one of my favorite coaches of all time. I would definitely have to sit down one day and break down the best head coaches in NBA history. Definitely that, and I would definitely have to put Lenny Wilkens in that category, man. Lenny Wilkens, definitely one of the greatest. Like I said, man, this Cleveland team was definitely a talent team, young, but they underachieved. I mean, for all that talent that they had, they were still kind of, a pedestrian squad as far as record-wise. They stunk on the road, winning only 11 games. They weren't that great in the division, only winning 11 games in the division. I mean, what can you say? I mean, this was a team that should have been a higher seed that year, but just due to Ron Harper's injuries, inconsistencies throughout the roster. Then the big trading a young, promising Kevin Johnson to Phoenix for Larry Nance in the middle of the season to kind of stabilize that young nucleus with some veteran presence. I think that's where the ship was starting to be righted, and they made a very, very quick entry and exit out of the 1987-1988 NBA playoffs, courtesy of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Definitely, this is a team that should not be forgotten. This is a team that helped grow the NBA. They actually helped Michael Jordan grow as a player because they did, although they were unlucky, they weren't short of tenacious and competitive. These guys definitely knew how to play together. It's just that Michael Jordan was just that much greater. Hey, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you're the windshield, other times you're the bug. But unfortunately for the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were a fly running into a Mack truck every year. But with that being said, we're going to close it right there, man. You already know what it is, man. It's Thursday. The weekend is right around the corner. I hope that you guys have a great day. I hope you guys had a productive day. I hope that you guys, man, spread love, show love. You know what I'm saying? Spend time with your family. Spend time with your loved ones. Love on your loved ones. Love on them babies. You feel me? Tomorrow definitely is not promised. Make sure that you guys are out here being responsible, respectful. Don't do anything dumb. Don't do nothing that's going to harm yourself or others. Be a helping hand if you can. Be a shoulder to lean on if you can. And be somebody's backbone if they need it. You already know what it is, man. It's always about spreading love and paying it forward. You already know what it is, man. A clear head and good intentions in your heart, and you out of here, man. You can go anywhere. You can go anywhere in this world. But man, it's your boy, Skinny Hardaway, man. And this is another episode of Retro Heat Check in the books. And I'll leave you with these words. Peace. And wear your sneakers.